Traveling with a baby can be very stressful, especially if you're going on an airplane because you're worried about the fact that they could cry the whole time and you'll be getting lots of dirty looks from passengers, but it's okay. And actually your calm attitude about it can go a long way and will rub off on your baby. Most people have dealt with a screaming child in public before and will have sympathy for you. But there are some tips and tricks that will hopefully make your air travel a little more pleasant when taking a baby on board with you. First of all, make sure that you're prepared. When you're packing all of your bags, make sure that your carry-on has everything that you'll need when you need to take care of your baby on the airplane. So this will include everything you need to change their diapers, an extra set of clothing in case they have a blowout or throw up everywhere, burp cloths, binkies, formula bottles, and also their favorite toy, stuffed animal, maybe something to entertain them with, like a few books. You know their favorite things, and so just make sure that all of those things are easily accessible and that you have backup plans like extra binkies and extra bottles and extra formula just in case. You're probably going to be taking a lot of baby gear, and this is important to think about. Think about what you're going to check and what you'll actually need with you. The FAA recommends that children are restrained on an airplane to make sure that they're as safe as possible, and the type of car seat that they should be in will depend on their weight. So talk with your pediatrician and they can give you advice about what restraint would be best on the airplane. And if you have questions about it beyond that, you can also call the airline and they can help you with it. But make sure you have that with you. A stroller is helpful while going through the airport, and you can just take that on with you onto the airplane, and the staff is great at helping you to manage that, and then you'll have it when you're going onto the airplane and when you're leaving. Make sure that you minimize the amount of things you're going to have to carry and juggle beyond those things so that you can manage everything, especially if you're with yourself and don't have other helping hands around you. Now, secondly, you'll want to think about takeoff and landing. These are the times when our ears bother us most, and it's probably going to bother a baby too. And this is when they're most likely to cry. They just don't have the ability to pop their ears like we do, and we can chew on gum or chewy candy, and it can help a little bit with that, but they can't. However, they can suck. And so you'll want to make sure you have a pacifier or a bottle or offer them the breast during takeoff and landing. And so also have a nursing cover, and this will help to make your experience better. A lot of babies are actually comforted once they get in the air by the drone of the engine. It's pretty noisy on an airplane, and sometimes these sounds are actually comforting to a baby, and lots of babies end up sleeping on the airplane. But again, do be prepared to distract them if necessary. And another one of the advantages to having your child restrained is that their expectations for being entertained by you are usually lower when they're in a car seat than what it is when they're in your lap. So just a couple of things to consider there. Another important thing to keep in mind is that airplanes require you to be in close quarters with people, and babies are more susceptible to illness. So make sure that you're washing your hands frequently whenever possible. And when it's not possible, carry around an alcohol-based hand sanitizer and be sure to use this, especially on the plane, before you touch your baby's things, anything that they're going to be playing with, because inevitably it ends up in their mouth. And do what you can to limit their exposure to other strangers and people who are around them. Like when you're pushing them through the airport, you might have a cover for their car seat, and this can reduce the spread of germs onto them that they might be encountering along the way. In short, don't underestimate the power of good hand washing. It can prevent the spread of illness. Now, if you're going on an international flight or you're taking your baby outside of the country, talk with your pediatrician first about special immunizations that may be necessary, and also discuss with them if it's safe for your baby to go. If your baby was premature at birth and they're still very young, or if they have certain medical conditions, the doctor may recommend that you not go on the trip with the baby to certain places. And a lot of parents also wonder if it's okay to travel with their babies when they're sick or have a cold. It is more likely for them to experience ear discomfort when traveling with a cold, because when you're plugged up, it just makes everything worse. So your doctor can talk with you about over-the-counter pain relievers that you could use and give you some tips and suggestions about that. And sometimes they just recommend against flying altogether if a baby's condition is severe enough. So again, talk with them before taking your baby on a trip. If you have more questions in the future for me, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.